If you have the Verizon prepaid unlimited Jetpack plan that was grandfathered in last year, we have a warning for you. Hi there, I'm Cherie with the Mobile Internet Resource Center. And last May, Verizon retired the very sweet prepaid unlimited Jetpack plan that was $65 per month with auto pay, that was truly unlimited data, just always subject to network management. And as long as you kept paying the bill, if you had gotten that plan before they retired it in May and you kept paying the monthly bill, you got to keep the plan. And that has continued to be true. Except for in the last few weeks, we have started to get some isolated reports of customers who are receiving cancellation notices from Verizon for excessive domestic roaming on the plan. In this email, which we have up right over here, it is saying that they have detected unusual amounts of usage outside of native Verizon towers, and that they are giving the customer the opportunity to switch to a lower tiered data plan or evaluate other options on other carriers. Basically, they're saying, we don't want you as a customer anymore on unlimited data. Now, they are giving no recourse for this, and from all of these customers that we have spoken to, this is the first notification they have gotten from Verizon that there were even roaming or that there was any issues with domestic roaming. So first of all, what is domestic roaming? Not all carriers cover all everywhere. And if they want to have service in a particular area that they don't have their own towers, they contract with other carriers in that area to roam onto their towers. And of course, those carriers charge a fee to do so. Usually it's pretty high, which means it costs the carriers a lot of money when their customers are not using their own towers. And the other carriers deal with this. Well, they have very clearly stated limitations on domestic roaming. So Sprint, AT&T, and T-Mobile, you only get a couple hundred megabytes of domestic roaming each month on your plan. Just enough for you to get online, get a little bit of stuff done before you move on to your next location. Verizon, however, with their widely spread LTE network of native coverage, has always really not had limitations on domestic roaming. But apparently, they do have some limitations. Now, about a year or so ago, we did get some reports of cancellations for some of the rural areas that they have contracts with. But those cancellations were targeted at customers that had billing addresses and primary usage in those locations. This time around, all the customers that we have spoken with that have gotten this email have said that they have a billing address in a native Verizon area. It's where they set up the account initially. And a lot of them are even reporting that their usage in the last bit of time has been in native Verizon areas when they check Verizon's coverage map and there's no indication on the device that they're roaming. When they contact Verizon, Verizon is not able to give them any information on where they were, when the roaming occurred, or how much roaming usage triggered the cancellation. So this is quite disturbing because it's not giving customers a lot of ability to control their roaming usage if Verizon's not giving them any indication of when you're roaming and when you might have a cancellation on a grandfathered plan that you can't get back once it is canceled. Now, what are some things that you can do to ensure that you are not in a roaming area? Well, the first is check your device. Most hotspot devices will put a little triangle up in the corner to show you that you are in a roaming area. So always check that first to make sure you're not roaming. You can also check the carrier's coverage maps. Make sure you're looking at their prepaid one if you're on the prepaid plan. And make sure you zoom in to a regional level so that you can actually see where they start to differentiate the different types of coverage. Because if you look at it at high level, it's all one solid color. We also did write an app called Coverage. It's available for iOS and Android. We wrote this like 10 years ago, long before we were running this resource center. And one of the layers we put in there is specifically for roaming. And we use it personally in our travels to make sure that we're not in a roaming area before we start using a lot of data, because we've been caught by the other carriers before. There are some devices where you can actually set up a notification where it'll actually pop up on screen that you're in a roaming area. The newer Verizon devices, the 7730 and the 8800, both have this option. You go into settings and make that setting, and you'll actually get a larger pop-up than just that little triangle. And some devices actually will allow you to disable roaming. Unfortunately, we don't know of hotspot devices on Verizon that have that feature, but some of the higher-end routers like Cradlepoint and PepWave do. So if you don't want to get caught off guard by this, you might want to go disable roaming if you're using your plan in a router. So this is kind of disturbing news. So far, the reports we've gotten are somewhat isolated. We only have a handful of them, but we do want to get this alert out just in case you have this plan and want to keep it. Do be aware of your roaming usage. And of course, the other tips on keeping this plan: make sure you do not allow payment to lapse on this plan. They will continue to grandfather you in as long as you're paying the bill and apparently not roaming. Of course, if you need to acquire a new Jetpack, whether for a warranty replacement or if you want to upgrade to a new model, do not go to a Verizon store. Buy it third party. The plans do not seem to be transferring over if you purchase a device in store. So that is the latest on the Verizon prepaid unlimited data plan, and we are recommending that you be very, very aware of your roaming usage when using any grandfathered in Verizon plan at this point going forward. These videos are brought to you by our premium members, our mobile internet aficionados. They make it possible for us to track this news and create these videos. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to our channel, or better yet, consider becoming a member yourself.